from a really resource place, then can we be with our human experience? And our human experience is many things. Like when we sit down to meditate, it can be we're contacting our sensations, we're contacting our emotions, we're contacting our thoughts, we're contacting our preferences, we're contacting our memories. And all of that, all of everything I just said, it all exists in your body. It's all here. It's all inside of you. And so how can we, from this place of resource, from this place of knowing pleasure, or I've been thinking lately about like having a contact to the mother, like the mother of me, my inner mother, but also Mother Earth, to be held from Mother Earth, like that kind of love of gravity. Can I be in relationship like this and make real contact to my primary human experience? And then from that, like once I'm really making contact, how can I, from a centered and grounded place, how can I make a reach? And that's what a lot of us are being asked to do right now, especially those that are white identified. How can we make a reach? How can we move some money around? How can we make contact? How can we show up however we need to show up, however we can show up? In protest, making phone calls, like what are the ways we can reach? But can we reach, get out there while staying connected to center and ground and resource? And so that's kind of what I want to play tonight with inside of the meditation. And we're going to start first with connecting to some resource. Does that sound okay? Any questions or comments at this point? Okay. So when we breathe, our bodies expand and condense. When we breathe, our bodies expand and condense. Expanding and condensing. In all different parts of our bodies, expand and condense. All different parts. And one side might be expanding, another part might be elongating. So like when you inhale, the front of your spine elongates, but the back of your spine condenses, and then it moves like that. So they exist together. And you might find that as you expand and you condense, that actual experience of condensing might actually be growing, expanding and condensing. So our meditation this evening, we're going to begin by imagining that there's a ball, and it can be small like this, and it's going to be in the low belly. And the low belly, then we'll imagine this ball expanding and condensing. Expanding and condensing. And then we'll start there, and then I'll talk you through different kinds of exercises and different kinds of ways to direct your attention. But that's where we'll begin. So if you would please, and one thing I just want to mention is that we're kind of in this next hour and 10 minutes that we have together, just let it really give yourself permission to be here however you need to be here. So if being upright right now feels like there's a lot of pain in the body, just keep asking yourself, is there anything that I could do to be a little more comfortable? And if that means leaning your back up against something, if that means sitting up on a more cushion, if that means laying down on your back, I want to kind of open it up. We sometimes practice in different ways for different reasons. And this idea of permission and staying within your own experience and connecting to the need. So if there's a need to lay down, then you give yourself that. And it's we're talking a lot right now about dismantling the systems of oppression. And this kind of way of controlling our bodies or having someone else tell us how to be in our bodies, it's very much part of capitalism and patriarchy. And so, like, the capacity to be able to listen to yourself and then show up for yourself, which is beyond what I'm asking you, so it's beyond, like, your body and your need more than I do. And so ongoing permission to take care of yourself. Everything I say will be like an invitation. Okay? So if you would please find a comfortable way to sit. And what I'd like to do this evening is to play with keeping the eyes a little bit open. And the eyes will be slightly down and a little open. So the curiosity here will be, can we be in here, our bodies, and can we be here in the world? So eyes slightly open as a way to cultivate a kind of wakefulness. And again, we sometimes practice with closed eyes, sometimes opened eyes, and this is a particular kind of practice. Okay, now can your whole body know the earth? What would it be like to allow your whole body to know the earth? So there's parts of you that are touching the ground or touching the chair. And what would it be like to touch and be touched? Like your skin would widen to receive the touch. And now from the movement down, from the ground, feel into an up. So this is the love and the support of gravity, that we move down and then we get to be upright. Feel the weight of your legs and the weight of your pelvis. Now bring your attention to your low belly. And if it's helpful, you can even bring your hands onto your low belly. So the area between your belly button and your pubic bones. And first, bring your attention to the softness of the belly, the tenderness of your belly, your soft front. And now bring your attention a little bit deeper into the body and imagine again that there's this little ball, and that when you inhale, the ball expands. And when you exhale, the ball condenses. When we inhale, a bit of expansion. And as we exhale, it condenses. And follow that for yourself and find your own rhythm of expanding and condensing. Again, in the low belly. So your skin is moving, your container is moving, but it's coming from the inside. Stay with your experience and notice when you want to move away from yourself, like there's resistance. What is it like to stay, to allow real contact with your experience? Expanding and condensing. What is it like to let your attention rest in the low belly? Now allow yourself to sway a bit through your spine. So you might need to sit up for this one, But you'll let yourself sway as though you're moving your tail at the bottom, and then you'll rock your whole spine side to side. And as you sway, connect to your own rhythm. So now it might even be useful to close your eyes a bit, or you can keep your eyes open. But the idea here is that you're finding your own current. If you were a river, what would your current be like? And can you drop into your own current? Drop into your own stream. Swaying. Maybe in your sway there's a little twist. You're connecting to you. What's your rhythm? Or if there was wind moving across leaves of a tree, like what would the wind be like in your body? And notice what it feels like to be moved inside your own current, your own stream. Now in the sway, in the current, connect to your own breath and the rhythm of your breath. And again, the rhythm of expanding and condensing. Swaying your current. Imagine that you're a piece of kelp in a kelp forest, and you're being moved by the ocean. The ocean move you. Your kelp dancing around in the ocean. And then begin to come back to finding stillness. But there's so much movement in what we call stillness. There's so much movement in what we call stillness. And in the stillness, notice if there's a moment where there's like a holding or a rigidity. And can you soften so you still are inside of movement? And also be with the residue of the sway, the residue of the kelp forest. How do you feel? What do you notice? Come back to being with your low belly. And allow your low belly to move when you breathe. Follow the rhythm of expanding and condensing, of movement. Now, gently allow your eyes to open if they've been closed. And allow your eyes to move around your space. And notice with the eyes open, did you lose contact with your interior landscape? And what would it be like to look around your space and to still have a sense of knowing and connecting to your interior? And be with your low belly as you see. And now, as your eyes move around, connect to something that looks beautiful. Maybe there's a plant in your space, or the light, or maybe you can look outside and see a tree. Maybe there's an object in your room that delights you, but let your eyes see something that, feels beautiful to look at. And now allow yourself to play with receiving that view. It's like, let it come into you. And in the same way, when we began, we were touching and being touched by the ground. We play with letting the view come into our bodies. Let the view come in like you're receiving the gift of this beautiful sight, of this beautiful, maybe it's a living being, maybe it's an object, but you're receiving it. And experiment with bringing it all the way in. Like the inhale, it goes all the way in. Or like a hummingbird puts their nose into a foxglove. It's like they go all the way in. Can you let the view come all the way in? like you're letting it touch your heart and your belly and your breath. Then be with a few big breaths. Again, this idea of connecting to resource, connecting to pleasure. Sometimes it feels like I'm connecting to magic. Like, wow, ah, beauty. And then gently draw your awareness back in and bring it all the way back down into your belly. Again, feeling into the expanding and condensing. And then almost have a sense with the being with the belly that you're contacting again, like well, feel into what is here, what is real for you, but also allow for there to be that sense of resource and pleasure alongside of it. Like a little bit of the wow, a little bit of the ah, some of the beauty and resource. And then we're going to bring our attention up now to feel into the organ of the heart or the area of the heart. And bring your attention between your sternum and the front of your spine. And notice how this area moves when you breathe. Again, connecting to the quality of expansion and condensation, collecting, drawing in, expanding and condensing. Touch what is here, touch what is alive for you. And also connect to a sense of wonder, sense of magic, resource. Your heart is surrounded by your lungs. Attached to your diaphragm through connective tissue. And with each inhale, your lungs come in and they hug the heart. The diaphragm pulls on the heart. When you exhale, the lungs spread, the heart expands. When we inhale, everything comes in and squeezes the heart. When we exhale, the heart expands. And we'll come back to feeling the earth. The whole body know the earth. Be held by the mother of all things, being held by Mother Earth. And your heart has weight, and it too can connect to the earth. Your eyes have been closed, gently open them. And again, this experiment of being both here in your body and here in the room, here in your space, alive for the view, and we let the view come in. So we're letting ourselves be touched by the world while staying here in our own experience. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and very gently push your hands together. And as your hands touch, have a sense of your own midline. So there's something called lines of force, which are basically like when this touches, there's a pathway or a movement, almost like when you turn water on in the hose. It's like something's going, or like a train going on railroad tracks. It's like, so from these 2 points meeting in a little push, where do you feel it? And when I'm pushing right now, I'm feeling it very clearly. It goes like all the way into my heart and up and down my spine. Like, where's the energy go through these 2 points touching and being touched? And notice what it feels like to rest in your own center, your core, which might feel today like your heart or your belly, or it might feel like your spine. Okay, and then we'll release our hands.